Hi, I'm Carrie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a VR to Julie over at Peekaboo Rose of standout decks for 2022. I've been watching a few of those videos in this VR tag and I'm finding it very interesting what everybody's picking. So I thought I would go ahead and share the decks that really stood out and gave impactful readings this year. I'm going to say up front, you've probably seen them on my channel, but I'm going to show them anyway. So the very first deck I have to share is the Game of Thrones Tarot. And I've had this deck for quite some time, and it's on the linen cardstock. But when I've talked about it before on here, but when I first got it, I didn't connect to it, even though I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. Or watching the new series, also House of Dragon. And I just, in the beginning, wanted to connect so badly, and I couldn't. And then somewhere around the middle of this year, I decided to pull this deck back out again and to use it for my monthly readings. And the readings were so impactful. I didn't have any issue understanding. Everything was like right to the point. And I was able to bring in some of the characteristics of the characters and think about that during the reading also, which I felt just added another layer to the whole thing. But yes, this deck that I have had sitting in a basket for, since a week after I had bought it when it originally came out, 3 years, 4 years ago, whatever it was. And I can't believe the difference revisiting this deck and like I said, how impactful it was. And if you're a lover of the series, then you probably love these cards also. And they probably feel the same way, where you can bring in like that character energy a little bit when you're doing your readings. And so, yeah, this made a huge impact on me in 2022. The next deck that I feel impacted my practice, or was a standout deck for me, I guess, in 2022 is the Anna K Tarot, which I still can't believe I'm saying because I was so resistant to purchasing this deck. But after I got it, I only wanted to pull it. I was constantly reaching for it for all kinds of readings. And I actually had to stop myself from pulling it out so I could use some of the other decks that I have. I'm surprised how it made such an impact on my readings. And for it being a brand new deck to me, it was like I had opened up a box to an old friend, and like I knew it before, and it was just very easy. It was very easy, and it spoke to me so well. And yeah, it really was a standout deck for me this year. Funny faces and all. Now I've grown to love them. But it really was. It was a standout deck, especially the first portion of the year. The next standout deck for me in 2022 is the Soul Trees Ascension Oracle. And I guess I should have mentioned that I think, oh, maybe I have an even balance between Oracle and Tarot. I don't know. I didn't add them up. I was very resistant to getting a tree deck. I've said that before when I've shown this Oracle. But man, there is just something about these trees that feel like they're just a part of my soul. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just, you know, the picture and the word, it's like it connects with me in a different way. The coloring, it all just makes a huge impact for me during readings. And I love this deck, and I found myself, like the Anna K, wanting to pull it constantly to pair with stuff, and I had to, you know, stop myself so I could use some other things in my collection. But yeah, this was a real standout for me in 2022, and I love it. But if you saw any of my other videos talking about the mass deck purchases and what happened to my depth year, I won't be using decks in 2023 that I'm used to, that I love, and this just to give myself a chance to get to know new stuff that has come in. So I, you know, probably won't be using this next year, and it will be missed, I'll tell you that. But yes, this deck would never leave my collection. It is an absolute favorite. So the next two decks that were big standouts for me is the Saucerabito Tarot and the Urban Crow Oracle. And I'm showing them together because that's how they were used. They were used as a pair. I've talked about this. It was in one of my musing videos. When I got the Urban Crow in, I had said that I had got it in for goddess work specifically. This is the first year that I am really devoting time to working with some goddess energy. I had tried it before, and it kind of, it didn't pan out for me. Let's see. We'll go in. Yeah, I had tried it before, and it didn't really work for me. But after getting what I felt was signs and drawn to working with the goddess, the Morgan, then that's what prompted me to purchase the Urban Crow. And when I paired it with the Saucerabito, man, these readings are off the chart. I don't even know if that makes any sense, how powerful the readings of these two decks working together. I started reading the guidebook for the Urban Crow, but I kind of just go with what I'm feeling from the picture, the keyword, and then, you know, the additional messages with the Saucerabito Tarot. So these, I didn't start this work, well, I think maybe it was September. I might be wrong about that. It might have been October. So it was later in the year that I started working with these two decks together. And now I can't see them any other way but together. And I'm going to continue my work, this goddess work, using these two decks. And I can't wait to see where it takes me in 2023. So the next two decks that were standouts for me this year were the Mother Mary Oracle and the Power of Surrender cards. And I'm going to show them together because I kind of work with them together. And this is the Mother Mary Pocket edition. Yeah. So, and I have the large version also, which is it's another standout, but I wasn't going to show both versions. So I think I showed these in my decks I got. I think that's where I showed them. I don't know. They're on my channel somewhere else. Also, and I use these together as a like a bedtime ritual, especially when I'm under so much stress, and the messages from these Power of Surrender cards have been exactly what I needed to hear in the perfect moment. It's just, I don't know, synchronicity, whatever, alignment, whatever you want to call it. It's just, even no matter what I've asked, I just, that's all I can say. No matter what I've asked, it's been the exact surrender card that I needed to hear. So sometimes I will use the Power of Surrender cards on their own, and sometimes I will pair it with a Mother Mary message. And, you know, I'll ask my Mother Mary, you know, what do I need to, healing or whatever do I need to bring to a certain situation, or, you know, can you help me with whatever situation? And I see what her message is. So, you know, so Our Lady of the Ocean Rebirth, invisible karmic forces are at work in our lives, creating circumstances that support our soul fulfillment, and so on. And then I would take that and I would say, okay, well, what do I need to surrender in order to reach, you know, whatever I read on the back of the card. That's kind of how I worked with them together. Or not that I was ever in disagreement with what the card told me. It was in denial, I guess, is more like it, and say, you know, well, what do I need to surrender to in order to accept, you know, the message from Mother Mary? And then I would pull a card. That's how I've been working with them. Or like I said, I use the Power of Surrender cards completely on their own. But they've made a huge impact this year. And it's been an energy that I needed desperately with the amount of stress that I was coping with this year. And I see this practice going on for quite some time with the same deck. I don't feel I need to add anything to it, take anything away from it, because I love the messages that I get together with these two decks. So they've been very impactful in 2022. Another deck that was a real standout for me, and I know it's kind of frivolous, is the Friends Tarot. I love this deck. It, yes, is a Rider-Waite clone. I get it. I love the Friends show. So this is another one where the characters also speak to me in their tone of voice and, you know, that kind of thing. As I'm interpreting the cards, you know, you can kind of hear the sarcasm or the funny jokes, or, you know, whatever, but it gives fantastic readings. I mean, fantastic readings. So it was a standout deck for me in 2022. I bought it just because I loved the show. And because I had watched it from season 1 until, I can't remember how many seasons it went, but until it had ended with, you know, whatever season. Watched every single episode, watched the reruns, and yes, it just, that's the reason I bought it, for the love of the show. But when it gives the kind of readings that it gives, then, you know, it becomes a standout. Even my Golden, I could have showed this one and the Golden Girls Tarot, because it's the same exact way. When you know the characters in that of a show, then it's fun to put that, you know, extra element into the readings. But yeah, it's a fantastic deck. I've enjoyed using it. I will continue using it. I think the Friends Tarot is out of print now. And if it went out, I think it just went out of print a month or two ago. because I don't see it available on Amazon unless you could get it directly from their website. It's Smith Street Gift is the publisher, I'm pretty sure. By Chantel D'Souza, the copyright for the illustrations. So you may be able to look, you know, on Smith Street Gift website or something, but I don't see this available last time I looked on Amazon. But yes, this stood out this year for me as a fun tarot to use and fantastic readings. So I have one tarot left to show you and one oracle left to show you. And the next tarot that was a standout for me, and can you tell from the backs? And that is the Trick or Treat Tarot by Barbara Moore. And, oh, was it Jonathan Hunt? Is that his? Let me look on the book. Yes, illustrated by Jonathan Hunt. That's who I thought it was. I don't care what people say about this being kitschy or not. This deck just speaks to me. It is like a soul deck. I love everything about it. I can see myself using it other times besides Halloween. There's no way I'm saving this deck just to use in the October season. I love it. I love the characters on it. I love the costumes. I love everything about it. And it makes me happy to use it. It brings back a lot of memories, which when I did a full walkthrough of this, I talked about all of that. And by the time I got it in, I didn't get to use it, but maybe a week, 2 weeks tops, I think. Maybe I used it. So I'm going to have to find time to work with it again in this coming year. But yeah, this is just, oh my gosh, this deck is a standout. Favorite. I love everything about it. Speaks to my childhood, speaks to my adulthood and my love of Halloween still. And yeah, yep, it is one of my highlight purchases of this year. I can tell you that. It really was. And my final deck is a modified oracle. So I don't know how much this counts, but it really did stand out for me because after modifying it, it goes so well with so many things, and it's another oracle that I wanted to continually reach for. This used to be the Starseeker. I think the Starseeker's Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. And I have her Work Your Light too. And I've modified both of those. And I have a video up of my, excuse me, my deck modifications that I've already done. What sparked the modification to begin with was watching Danny over at Danny Mystic and how she changed her Work Your Light. So I changed that one, and then I did this one. And I cut off all the titles, and I stamped on there as I sat with the card, looking at the images. I didn't look in the guidebook. I don't even know if I have the guidebook anymore. But I just sat with the image and waited to see, you know, how I felt it was speaking to me. And I stamped my keyword on the deck, or on the card, I mean. And like I said, I didn't even look. I didn't even look to see what it said. And well, it doesn't matter because I cut all the titles off beforehand. And then I just sat with these images, and I absolutely love it now. I love this artwork. I think this artwork is stunning. But I couldn't connect with the deck at all. And yeah, so that's what I did. Chopped off the titles and I stamped my own keywords on. And now this has become like a workhorse oracle for me. I feel that it has more balance in like light and dark. And yeah, it was a favorite this year. And it's another one that I had to stop myself from using so I could use some of the other oracles and things that I have. So I'm glad that I didn't just rehome it and that I tried to rework it first. But this was a standout deck for sure. So that is all I have for this tag. And I had to really, I guess I should say, think about the decks that I was going to show for this, because I was very lax in keeping tabs of the decks that I had used each month. And some of the months I scribbled down what I used, but a lot of them I didn't. So yeah, I had to sit with my collection for a while and try to remember really what made an impact. So don't forget to check out Juli's video, which I'm sure you've already seen, but in case you haven't, I'm going to link that in the description box below. Thank you, Julie, for creating this tag. It really made me think about what impacted me this year. I appreciate you for stopping by and watching. Until next time, bye.